This is Surviving and Winning. I just want to jump on real quick, and I am hoping to jump off real quick. So I did it at pretty much a kind of an odd time in the morning. But if you do come on, I welcome you, and I'll be glad to hear from you. I just wanted to say some things real quick. I was able to participate in a virtual conference, and they were speaking about the even the survivors, the people going through cancer, as well as the people surviving cancer. And I'm sorry if I sound a little loopy. I have been, um, I do have vertigo, and another part of it is that I'm in a lot of pain right now. So what I have found is that there are so many survivors, and I thank all of the medical team and the staff and everyone who fought hard to keep me alive, all of those people who donate to the hospital, all those people who donate to medical research. You're saving lives, and I can't thank you enough. I can't thank God enough. Allah. But one of the things that I would say, and Allah is just Arabic for God, it's the same name. I just wanted to say that there is a real gap because science has gotten past medicine so what ends up happening is that the people get cancer, but there's no space for them because the um, medicine, the chemo, the radiation, the surgeries, all the science that's used to keep them alive can actually harm their bodies forever. And up until this point, people, you're just giving them a few months to live, but they're living longer. So at this point, they're not coming back to who they used to be, but there's nothing in place for them when they get back. And they've fought a hard fight. They're probably stronger than anybody who's not gone through this struggle. And I had the fortunate um, opportunity to come across a global conference, and that global conference was amazing. It was a virtual conference that addressed the needs of cancer patients. And that where everyone else goes to a conference, they might fly there or that it might come to their town or whatever. Cancer patients don't have that kind of energy. And sometimes they do, but it's just so nice when it comes to you. And you could go in there and you had all these live speakers. You had real physicians and real scientists and real people pushing this method forward that it doesn't end with treatment. It doesn't end with therapy because a lot of these programs will say if you're not in active treatment, we don't have anything. And that wasn't the case when I was first diagnosed in 2017. Um, but it is now. And I had a sarcoma, so I'm not necessarily going to be in active treatment. It's a rare disease. So it's not really now, but to you just to slow the tumor down. They will. So when you go to your oncologist is going to say uh, that their special technique is to get rid of the cancer. And if they can keep the cancer from getting larger or if they can keep it at bay, or if they can make it get smaller, or if they can make it go away, that's the end. They are not like that's not their specialty to deal with all the side effects. And there are issues that come after that where you may not be able to work, you may not be able to take care of your family, you may be in like extreme debt. Like they say, based on this conference, it's like 2.5 times more than the regular population to go into bankruptcy. Only a third of the cancer patients are able to work. It goes into, and I've talked to actual cancer patients, they lose everything they have. But when they go into the system where you're trying to get, aid from uh, any other thing like disability or social security income or Medicaid, Medicare, or anything like that, you go into the system where it's so, oh no, your cancer is cured. So then there becomes that gap because it's not written into the law yet that especially to the breast who or the lung cancer patient, there's going to be some damage to. You may have damage to their lung or damage to. They're going to have chest wall radiation, which not better, irreversible. Or you're going to have a chemo patient where you're going to find that I know somebody who wants to curate me, but they lose their hair and they lose their eyebrows. And sometimes you don't know that that happened, especially on women, but on men you can tell because they can't, they don't feel eyebrows on their face, and they can kind of get away with wearing a bald head and looking clean, shaven. But no one wants to discuss the fact that they could lose their teeth. Like you have permanent teeth, they don't grow back. You lose your hair, yeah, that grows back. Or they don't. So for any chemo patients, please, correct me on this. But some people lose both. So it's hard to really put in what actually happens to a cancer patient. And a lot of times, if you're not, especially if someone says, okay, there's no evidence of disease, that's NED, that means that when you went to your checkup, they didn't find any more cancer. They got rid of it. So you celebrate and you tell all your family, I'm not dying, I'm good. But people don't like to talk about the money. You're not good because cancer is expensive. If you get on a healthcare plan, they're going to expect a copay. There's going to be a um a deductible. There's going to be things involved in it, and you'll find that who are healthier die of cancer. So can't buy your way money. Their cancer medications are so expensive. And like I said, only a third of them are going to be able to work. So if they find out they have cancer all of a sudden, it's gonna that spouse, whether it's a man or woman, cancer is cancer, just cancer in general. Just I'm speaking of cancer because that's what I know. But there are a lot of terminal diseases and there are a lot of other things out there that aren't even terminal, so they don't even get the support. But it gives them an inability to work. And so we need to work on our health system and get that better, because a lot of things, nobody who goes to the doctor and finds themselves with a disease really knows that they had it till they go verified. Or sometimes maybe they know and um they don't want to share it or tell anybody about it, because they know a whole fight. Men and women, when they are diagnosed, who are married, and you would say, okay, um, we're gonna have to live on one income. We're gonna have to downsize. I'm gonna need your help. I'm gonna need a caregiver. I need this. We need to help. You know, I'm gonna need more help with the children. And you gonna there are people who find out they got a cancer diagnosis and they're losing their spouse. And I guess, I mean, in my opinion, if that person leaves because you get sick, they dishonored their vows. I mean, it's probably good weight. That might be, that's just like losing the cancer. It's like surgery, but it hurts. So I just wanted to bring that out there. I didn't know I was going to go this long, but just to say that it's not just about being sick. It's not just about the chemo and throwing up and the tiredness and fatigue and the surgery and the worrying about living and dying. Your life doesn't change. The things that need to happen change. And this is such a big thing. And the people who are not going through it don't understand that. And so I think it's a good thing to have a close community, but we need your help because we're busy fighting a fight that you haven't had to fight yet, but you may have to fight that. And I don't wish it on anyone, especially if we can continue this science and then discontinue foods in our system, discontinue things that cause cancer. Because I'm going to tell you right now, this is not, whatever we're eating or doing, it is not worth this. Um, and the research, I thank the doctors. I think that we need to have laws in place or a health infrastructure in place so that until we figure out how to stop this from happening at all, um, for those that it happens to have that kind of um, support. So cancer and cancer research and the surgeries and all the things that people are doing, working themselves out of a job, just understand that they can get cancer too. And I know people who are doctors and nurses that ended up with cancer, couldn't wait to go back to work, upset that they could. I can't wait to go back to work myself, but I get discouraged every day. I stop reading my emails because I want to go back to work, but my body won't listen to me. Yourself a well able body, for those that have children, for those who, you cannot make enough money to fund cancer. You're gonna need some help. So I do agree in putting that money into research. I do agree into funding these cancer societies, because I promise you, they do give back. And a lot of the survivors who are able to make it out of this, they were some of your most honorable people you will meet. I was at that virtual conference watching it, and I did send something back and um, to tell how much it meant to me. There were so many people that I could relate to virtually that I can't really relate to in real life. So I'm if you have cancer and or you have beaten cancer, if you have someone that you really, really, really loved and wish that you didn't have to lose them, if you can put that energy into fighting for legislation, for assist on people who get it, we can actually get rid of it because it's a cell. And scientifically we are getting better. But some people are dying of cancer because they can't afford it. It is very expensive to have cancer. And let's not people out or we won't have that problem because we have money. Because I had in 1 month, I know that one of my surgeries was well over $75,000. So nobody has 75,000 a month. Not the average person. You could be a millionaire and have 75,000. And understand that this is not really about money. You could, if you have $75,000 to spend in 1 month, a whole lot of people hoping to get your inheritance and hoping to get whatever you have. So this is not really about money, but this is about life and the value of your life. And there's nothing more valuable than a human life. Nothing. We may not like each other all the time, but our lives are valuable and we all have an opportunity to grow, and we should be able to take care of that opportunity. We should all have advantage of that opportunity, and those of us who can keep somebody alive, we should. And it might be $5. The amount of money that you spend on a food that's probably giving you cancer, you can give towards the American Cancer Society. Um, I, you could give it to a person that you know that has cancer. Um, that can go anywhere. So I really wanted to encourage people today. I was inspired to do it. I couldn't go to sleep without doing it. Because what I'm finding is people are being very desensitized to each other, human life. Yeah, I understand it because things around us are becoming more and more unstable. A lot of us have our own problems, and um, I guess if people had told me this when I thought I was healthy, maybe I would or would not have listened. But I had my family has been adversely affected by cancer, and each one of those losses, and I lost someone very close to me when I was 19 to cancer. That was my first cancer loss, and if she could be here with me, I dream about her even last night. Um, she was my neighbor's mother. I mean, she was my neighbor too. She drove me back and forth to school. My best friend's mother, and I dream about her like she's here all the time. And she passed away of breast cancer, and she lived longer. I mean, I lived longer than she did, but there's not a day or a night that she's not in my heart, and That's well over 20 years ago. I said it's 2019. To be honest, it was, well, so I'll end with this because, like I said, there's some people that are still here, and the science will, um, if you get diagnosed, will probably keep you here. The question is, after you are kept here, how are you going to afford to stay here? So part of cancer research is to figure out how we don't get cancer. Another part is to support the people who are surviving because we've been through a lot. So surviving based on how do we get money for them or us for post traumatic stress disorder, for psychiatry, so that we because we fight for our lives all the time. And I can still remember the room that I was in, the way it smelled, the expression on the lady's face when I was first diagnosed, and then when I received a metastasis, I can remember that. And people act like something might be wrong with you, but some you fought this fight. This is normal. What would not be right is if you walked away smiling, then something's wrong because you're fighting. You're fighting for your life. And if you're not fighting for your life, then you're giving up. So these feelings are natural. So there needs to be some type of way to handle natural feelings to an unnatural trauma. Since it's happening, we need to find a way not to just cure a disease, but to keep it from happening. But if it does happen and the person survives it, find a way to help them survive it. And then economically, how do they survive the rest of their lives? Because a lot of if they were professionals, a lot of that money is gone. And if they're women and their husbands are taking care of them, what kind of stress does that have on him? And what kind of stress does it have on their children? So, what I gather is the new um, issue we have after survival is how to help the people that survive because just surviving doesn't mean that I jump up in the air and go off to Disneyland and live this extravagant life and do all these other things. It is that it's a real battle. And then you are in a community of people fighting that battle. It doesn't just end with that because no one else understands what a cancer patient undergoes except another cancer patient. And you get into this community and people start dying of the same thing you had. And sometimes you both survive and you are thriving, and you're doing well, and you are both coming up with strategies on how to make another cancer survivor feel better and how to go and visit the patient in the hospital, and you develop a real close relationship, and then your cancer comes back, or that other person's cancer comes back, and it's a whole new realization that this will never go away. Even if you get back on your feet, this will never go away. And there's not very much funding in the way of that. And if it was, I felt that it was, but it seems like it's gone away, like it's been reduced. I don't know. But I just wanted to say that so that even if you're not a cancer patient or a cancer survivor, if you can, um, reach out to these groups and give your money. I'm not asking for your money. I'm asking you to give money. And you may become a cancer survivor and then that money's already in the pot. You can advocate for people at this point who may be too weak to advocate for themselves. And I don't always have energy, but I had energy today, and just sharing this with you has given me more energy. Like, this is how this helps me. And if you are within the reach of the sound of my voice, I implore you to care as well. Sorry, this wasn't maybe I can break this up with some comedic stuff or anything like that, but I do want to tear at the heartstrings because I do. This feels good to me. Just saying this feels good to me, and I would hope that just reach out. I will hope that you reaching out will feel as good to you as it does to me, and it doesn't have to even go to a national cause. But if you have tax break or tax write off you want to do, please consider those societies. Um, but I really would encourage you in your area to reach out to someone that you know that has cancer. Don't assume what they want. Ask them, you know, I money is always good. And I will tell you why. It's not a charity thing. Money is always good because that some of the insurance they don't pay everything, and then they may have had to give up their jobs, and everyone can always use money. I promise you, you're not gonna see them in a new SUV, and if you do, um, that's fine too. But it's not coming from any money that they made off of cancer. Cancer is extremely expensive. It's hundreds and thousands of dollars. Hundreds, thousands of dollars. Like, you're probably gonna spend it depending on if they have insurance. If they have insurance, it may be a couple hundred thousand. But if they were working, and they go into Cobra and they have to pay it out themselves, and then they have to work while they're sick. Most cancer patients can't work while they're sick. They work while they're sick to keep the insurance so that they don't have to live outside. They're working in extreme agony and pain. That is not how a cancer patient should have to struggle to stay alive. So cancer patients, their success rate is very, very, very dependent on money. So I just want to end it there. Hope I haven't talked too long. Hope you got the point. Hope I held you to the end. Peace and blessings, surviving and winning.